Hey there folks, my name is Peter and today we're talking knives. For as long as I can remember, I've always had a pocket knife. I've just never really dug deep into the blade steel and the lock type and the blade type. If it cuts stuff, it works for me. So on the bench in front of me are just a handful of knives that I've collected over the years. Now, when I was younger and building my quote-unquote collection of knives, I was able to buy them directly on Amazon. Something must have changed, however, in the last however many number of years since I tried to buy a knife on Amazon, and you can't buy knives on Amazon anymore, at least if you're located where I'm located in New York. So what that means is I've generally been relegated to picking up knives where I find them. The Bokers out the front that I opened at the beginning of this video, I picked up both of these at a flea market in Florida. This one I actually really like because it's teeny tiny, and this is actually the knife that I carry with me, like if I have a suit on or something and I'm going to a wedding. You'd be shocked at how often you need a knife at a wedding to cut a thread, or somebody forgot to pop open their pockets and they just need a little bit of help. So I love having this on me. Other knives I pick up at gas stations. This one, which is, a pretty cheap knife, I would say. I think this probably cost me $10. It's a Wilcor Open Assist, which of course I really appreciate. And it has some incredible imagery on it. You've got this grizzly bear and what is that, a gold eagle? Just very nature forward. And again, I picked this up at a gas station for probably 10 bucks. But of course, it opens up boxes, which is primarily my use case. Another example of a knife that I picked up over the years is this one from the James brand. So James brand is based in the UK, which means none of the knives that they sell lock into place, because apparently in the UK you're not allowed to have knives that lock. But this one is super cool. I'm forgetting the exact name of it, but it's of course a knife. I don't really need the serration here at the end, but whatever. Again, it doesn't lock, but then it also has scissors, and these are actually great scissors. I love the mechanism on these. They've never failed me, and I actually carry this a fair bit because having a scissors and a knife is the majority of what I need a multi-tool for. And of course, I have more knives that are, I guess, a bit more specialty, right? We have the snap-on. This is the utility blade one that sort of allows you to put the refills in here. Then it's quote-unquote auto-loading, so I like using that. And then this snap-on CRKT I got off the truck. You've seen this in many videos because it's my primary box opening knife. I don't know exactly what the type is here, but I actually really appreciate the way that this tapers downward. But anyway, what you'll notice about every knife that I have ever bought, both that's in this video and that I didn't choose to include within this video, is a foldable, or at least out the front. But what I've never had before, and what is taking the EDC community by storm, seemingly, if I watch enough YouTube videos, is the fixed blade knife. And that is exactly what we're going to get into today. So the website BladeHQ.com apparently ships to New York. This is my first purchase I've ever made on BladeHQ, but I've been on their mailing list for quite a while. And I'm pretty sure that when I first started going to that website, they said I couldn't ship to New York unless it was going to like a military base of some kind. But the other day I tried to place an order and it worked, so nice. My thinking here is when I am doing projects outside or in the garage or just around the house, I don't always have on something with either a belt or a pair of jeans, say, that would fit the pocket clip very nicely, right? In the summer I have shorts on. Right now it's getting closer to winter. I've got sweatpants on, and having a knife with a belt clip doesn't really, or a pocket clip even, it's just a bigger pain to have to get it in and out. So what I thought to myself was, let me introduce myself to the fixed blade watch game. Now, nothing in this box is particularly expensive, as is the case for all the knives that I have, right? I've never got into the Benchmades and the expensive Spydercos and all that sort of stuff, which isn't to say that I won't someday. It's just I haven't found the need just yet. But the reason I make these videos is that so we can, have a conversation with one another. And in so doing, I want your feedback, right? On not only what I bought today, but also what you might recommend, especially from a fixed blade, but also just a knife in general point of view. So without further ado, let's break into the box. And while I normally would use my snap-on, because I brought all these knives outside, I'm gonna use something a little bit different. The other thing that was maybe a tiebreaker in making this decision was I've gotten back into wrestling lately, the WWE. Every 3 to 6 months I find myself picking up a new hobby. And I watched a documentary about The Undertaker on Peacock. And for the last basically 2 episodes of that show, as they were interviewing him at his home, he had a fixed blade around his neck. Pretty short, but I was like, okay. I've seen the videos, but The Undertaker really convinced me. So let's see what we have here. Now, the first thing I'm gonna pull out is neither a fixed blade nor a knife, but I needed to spend a certain amount to get free shipping, and this put me over the limit. So this is a Silky Pocket Boy curve saw. So it's only 5 inches long in terms of its blade length, but I've never heard anything bad about Silky products. I didn't know that it came in this plastic case, which is pretty neat. My thought was, you know what, I'm just gonna throw this in my truck. I don't live in like the Pacific Northwest. The tree stuff is not as much of a concern for me like in a truck EDC as it might be for somebody else, but you might as well have something as opposed to nothing. Nonetheless, the price on this thing was $39.95. It's got a little clip back here if you want to put a lanyard on it. It comes in that nice case, although I just cannot figure out how to get it back in there. Is it the shortest Silky saw that they make? I believe the answer is yes, but pretty sure this is of a high quality. It's made in Japan. I've only ever heard good things about them, and I'm gonna add this to my truck EDC. All right, next, let's get into our first fixed blade. I'm just gonna pull these out sort of at random, but I know what's in here, but this is the first time I've opened this box. So, for this one, why don't we use our gas station $10 knife, huh? There we go. So what do we have here? This is the Pendleton Mini Hunter. Blade length is 3 inches. It's an AUS 10A steel. Again, I don't understand the steel types at all. Maybe you all can educate me. It's 2 ounces in weight, 3 millimeters thick, with an overall length of 6 5/8 inches. Now this one comes in a sheath that you're gonna have to wear in a belt, right? So you got your belt loop there, and I actually bought one that would be a belt carry, and then I have another that's a neck carry, so obviously this is the belt version. It's got a clip on there at the top, and then you can pull out the knife. Now, I specifically wanted something that was relatively small. I don't need a 12-inch Bowie knife for the type of work that I'm gonna be doing with these knives. So when I went on the BladeHQ website, I actually selected a filter for like, I don't know, less than, I think 3-inch blade length, something like that. And this is what I ended up with. But I think the sheath is pretty cool. Clips in there nice. It's not gonna fall out. And then, of course, when you're carrying it around, you can clip it back in and you're good to go. So this is, I think, the bigger of the two that I bought. In terms of how it feels in the hand, I don't know. It's a little weird for me. Obviously, I have a slightly bigger hand, I would say, but the way that this is fitting in there is not as comfortable as I kind of hoped that it would be, but for what it is, I think I'm okay with it. The price on this was $37.95, and I would say that overall, this is one I'm gonna be carrying less than more. While I do have days where I'm out here working and I've got like work pants on or a belt even, it's not typical, so who knows how much you'll see this on the channel, but I'm pretty happy to have it in my collection. I do have a fixed blade that doesn't have like a proper belt or neck sheath in my truck, but something like this, again, more for around the house. And finally, what is likely to be the star of the show is this little guy. So this is the Boker Magnum Little Friend, not Little Friend, Little Friend Micro. This one, I just opened it like a animal, I guess. Okay, great. Whew. All right, and here we are. I'll be honest, I knew it was small. I don't know that I knew that it was this small. So the price on this was $28.86. The necklace that you're gonna wear it on, similar to like a necklace that I think you'd see with like a pair of dog tags or something. I'm not exactly sure what this is called, but it has the thing here that you can open and close it to adjust the length if you were so inclined. As far as the knife itself, I mean, look at this little guy. Are you kidding me? I'll tell you what, I may have flown a bit too close to the sun in terms of the size, but I'll tell you what, this actually feels a little bit better in my hand than this one, if you can believe that or not, right? Because this one, there's not a great way to hold it like sort of up at the top, right? You kind of have to make full contact with the knife. Whereas this one, you know, my finger here, it's got this little indentation, which is quite nice. So you slip that in there, you put your thumb on the back, and this is pretty nice, right? I'm only using 3 fingers in total, and this one's just kind of a rover, right? This is really kind of a two-handed operation, but this is exceedingly small, right? I don't know how well it will come through on the video, but if you choose to buy this yourself, just know that it is tiny. But I can already tell that I love this thing, right? You slip this around your neck and I mean, you're ready. You're not ready for anything because there's only so much that this knife is going to be able to do for you, but you're ready for a fair number of things, especially when the Amazon guy gets to the house. You know, you get a box like this like we just got today and you're slicing into that thing without any issues whatsoever. So, pretty happy with this. It's basically exactly what I thought I was buying, albeit a ½ inch smaller, and the neck sheath is just awesome. So, I am going to be wearing this quite a bit as part of my EDC around the house. I'm not going to wear this outside of the house, but I really appreciate the compactness of that. And while I think this is interesting, I'm not sure that this one fits the bill just as nicely. I don't like the handle as much, but certain use cases, I think it'll work pretty well. So that's all for today's video, folks. I made this really just so that I could open this box, show it to you all, and really get some feedback. As I go farther down this knife rabbit hole, what do you recommend that I pick up? I'm mostly interested in fixed blades right now just because I have so many folders, but if you have a folder that you really, really appreciate, obviously leave it in the comments and I'm happy to check it out. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the very next video.